All right, let's see if I do better when it comes to my NASCAR predictions this year. We're heading into a new era in NASCAR, new car, overhaul schedule, and much more. I'm actually kind of excited now because NASCAR has dumped the 550 horsepower package and decided to go with 670 horsepower with low downforce, a huge step in the right direction. Anyway, with so much change, it's going to be more difficult than ever to predict what's going to happen. But I'm going to take my best crack at it. So here it is, my 2022 NASCAR predictions. Brad Keselowski wins the 2022 Daytona 500. Now, I know a lot of people have said that Brad Keselowski going over to Roush is a downgrade from Penske, which may be true. But one thing about Roush's program that hasn't fallen off is the Super Speedway program. You put the right driver behind the wheel of one of their race cars and they can go to victory lane at least at a Super Speedway. Just look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 2017. He got 2 wins that year and they both came at Super Speedways. Insert Brad Keselowski, who's had a lot of success at Super Speedways. I think he can get the job done. Brad Keselowski, his driving career is coming to an end soon. He's approaching 40. I think he's going to be more hungry than ever to get a Daytona 500 win. It's one of the very few things he has to check off in his Cup career. Also, the next gen car drafts differently. According to William Byron, it drafts more like an Xfinity car, and if that's true, that should play into Brad Keselowski's hands. The 2022 Daytona 500 will be the cleanest 500 since 2016. Now, if you haven't been keeping up, the Daytona 500 has become a wreck fest within the past 5 or 6 years. But I think that changes this year because of the next gen car. According to Kevin Harvick and some other people in NASCAR, there's not much supply for the next gen car right now. There's not that many of these things built. So I think team owners and crew chiefs, I think they're going to be pleading to drivers to take care of the car throughout speed weeks. Take care of the car throughout these first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season actually. So I don't think you're going to see 4 or 5 big ones like usually. You might see one big one throughout speed weeks. You probably won't see a whole lot of wrecks because drivers are going to actually be trying to take care of the car. So I think it's going to be a pretty clean Daytona 500. I think you might actually see 25 to 30 cars actually finish the race this year. For the first time since the winning you're in format was introduced, there will be more than 16 winners before the playoffs. In my opinion, I think this is going to be the most competitive season we've seen in NASCAR since 2001. There's a lot of drivers that's really talented in the Cup field, and you're going to see drivers do whatever they can to get a win. A lot of drivers have to prove themselves this year. A lot of drivers are going to be going for their first career win. The schedule is so different, and not to mention the next gen car is going to even the playing field. All teams are going to have the same chassis, and not to mention you got the 670 horsepower with low downforce. It's going to be more into the driver's hands. So I think it's going to create a lot of parity, and the race to the chase is going to be insane this year. There will be 4 first-time Cup winners in 2022, those being Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, and Tyler Reddick. All 4 of these drivers are really talented. They have come close in the past, most of them at least. So I definitely see these 4 going to victory lane in 2022. It's bound to happen. I'll be shocked if one of these guys end up being shut out again this upcoming season. I expect all of them to visit victory lane. Some of these guys I expect to visit victory lane multiple times. So yeah, there'll be 4 first-time Cup winners in 2022. Austin Cindric will be the first rookie since Denny Hamlin to win multiple races. We've seen how insanely talented Austin Cindric is at the road courses. Last year, we've seen how he was competitive in his limited Cup starts at the road courses, and he's proven already that he can go out there and win. He actually took the lead at Road America until he had a parts failure. So I think that this year he's going to get 2 to 3 wins, and they're going to come at road courses. If he does win at an oval, it's probably going to be at a super speedway. He's proven to be a pretty good super speedway racer as well. So Austin Cindric, he really has a chance to get 2, 3, maybe even 4 wins this season. And like I said, I think it's going to happen at the road courses. Here's a bold prediction. Chase Elliott goes winless on the road courses in 2022. Chase Elliott, he's been the man at road courses within the past couple of seasons, but I think that's going to change in 2022. Like I said, my last prediction, I think Austin Cindric is going to get 2 to 3 wins on the road courses in 2022. Austin Cindric is a better road course racer than Chase Elliott. If you think otherwise, then I don't know what to really say. And not to mention, you got Adrian Allmendinger. He's going to be running all the road courses this year. And a lot of the Cup field, they just getting better at road courses. I mean, just look at Kyle Larson last year. He won 3 road course races. You got Christopher Bell, who's forming into a really good road course racer. Then you got Martin Truex. Tyler Reddick has proven to be really fast at the road courses. A lot of these guys are going to catch up, or if are already catching up. And I don't think it's going to be easy for Chase Elliott this year. So yeah, Chase Elliott, I think he's going to win some races this year, but they're going to come at their ovals. Like I said, but I think Cindric, Adrian Allmendinger, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Chase, he's really going to have to deal with those guys this year when it comes to the road courses. Tyler Reddick would give RCR its best season since 2013, winning multiple races and ranking inside the top 5 in points all season. We know how talented Tyler Reddick is. He's proven that during his first 2 years in the Cup Series. He's made a ton of mistakes during those first couple of years. I think in 2022, he puts it all together and becomes a weekly threat to win races. I think he's going to be up there in points all season long, and he's going to win multiple races. I think this new car kind of plays into his hands of, you know, having that 670 horsepower and have a lot less downforce. These cars in general seem like they're going to be really harder to drive, and I think that's going to really suit Tyler Reddick's driving style. So I think his competitors are going to have to look out for him, because I think he's going to be in the top 5 a lot this season. I definitely think he's going to break out this season. The new Atlanta won't race like a super speedway. So Atlanta has been recently repaved and reconfigured, and they added banking to where it's kind of matching the banking that Daytona and Talladega has. And I see a lot of people out there are saying that it's going to race exactly like those tracks, and I gotta disagree. I think it's going to be like Charlotte from 2018 when they ran, you know, the 500 horsepower, really high downforce. I think it's gonna be kind of similar to that. It's just not wide enough to race like a true super speedway. I think the track has to be bigger in order to race like Daytona and Talladega. I think they'll be packed up like the first 10, maybe 12 laps, but I think eventually it's gonna spread out, and I think it's gonna, you know, be a different type of race. It's just gonna be weird in general. I think the best comparison is the Charlotte 2018 race, or maybe the Kansas race from the spring Kansas race from 2019. I think that's how the race is gonna go. So I don't think it's gonna race like a true super speedway, is what I'm trying to say. Kaulig Racing in the Xfinity Series would be the team with the most wins. Adrian Allmendinger with 7, Landon Castle with 3, and Daniel Hendrick with 3. In my opinion, Kaulig Racing has the best driving lineup by far in the Xfinity Series. I think these guys are going to be in victory lane a lot this year. You got Adrian Allmendinger returning, and I think he's going to do even more damage than he did last season. Daniel Hendrick is coming off of a championship, and I really think the floodgates are about to open with him. And then you got Landon Castle, who's going to be really hungry to prove himself and prove to people that, hey, like, I got talent. This dude, he's been overachieving in underfunded cars for years, and he's getting a big opportunity now in his 30s to go out there and prove to people that he can go out there and win races. So Kaulig Racing, I think they're going to be the team to beat in the Xfinity Series this year. I know Ty Gibbs is going to be full-time. Yeah, he's going to have his good amount of wins, but I think Kaulig Racing as an organization is going to be the team to beat in 2022. There will not be a Hendrick car on the front row for the Daytona 500 since 2012. There's really no reasoning behind this prediction. I just think that the streak is going to come to an end when it comes to that. I guess the next gen car being so different is my reasoning, but I just think that the streak is going to come to an end when it comes to a Hendrick car sitting on the front row for the Daytona 500. Both Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch will reach 60 career Cup wins this season. Both of these drivers didn't have the greatest 2021 season, and I think that's going to change with 2022. Both of these drivers will be visiting victory lane more than once. Kevin Harvick isn't done yet. Like I said in last year's prediction video, I think his days of winning 5, 6, 7, 8 races in a season is over with. But I definitely do see him winning a couple more times in the Cup Series before he hangs it up. He's going to reach that 60 career win number. And then when it comes to Kyle Busch, I think he's actually going to experience a resurgence in his career starting this year. I think he's going to start winning 5, 6, 7 races in a season again. Kyle Busch, he's only in his late 30s. I don't think he's going to retire until like his mid 40s probably, or early 40s. And I think he's going to have a late career resurgence. So both of these drivers reaching 60 career wins would be big. The last time we've seen a driver reach 60 career wins was Jimmy Johnson. And he went on to win like 80 something races in his Cup career. So that 60 career win mark, that's going to be a big accomplishment for both of these drivers if they can get it done, which I'm pretty sure they both will. Sometime throughout the 2022 season, NASCAR will announce that they will be returning to Rockingham in 2023. I don't know if it's going to be the Cup Series, the trucks only, Xfinity and trucks only, or maybe all 3 series. But for some reason, I just think that Rockingham is going to return in 2023. I know it's kind of risky saying that because they haven't started work on that track yet, but they do plan on putting a lot of work into that track and making it ready possibly for NASCAR down the road. And I think they'll be ready by 2023. So I'm going to grow with that. Sometime in 2022, 2311 Racing will announce that they will be expanding to a 3rd car in 2023, and the driver will be Ty Gibbs. We've seen how insanely talented Ty Gibbs is. I think he's going to win 6, 7, 8 races this upcoming season. He's supposed to be full-time in the Xfinity Series. And as long as nobody don't get forced out at JGR, I'm looking at Martin Truex since he's the oldest over there. I think that JGR lineup would be the same in 2023, which means I think 2311 Racer would try to pick him up, and I think he's going to be a part of that team. So I don't think Ty Gibbs needs a lot of time in the Xfinity Series. He's really talented, and I think he's going to get moved up to Cup after 2022. Hailie Deegan will go winless in the Truck Series again, but will drastically improve from 2021, finishing in the top 15 in points. Now, we've seen Hailie Deegan improve when she returns to a track for the second time, and I think with practice and qualifying returning in general, I think she's going to take a big step forward in 2022. Now, when it comes to her finishing top 15 in points, I don't think that's asking a lot when it comes to the Truck Series, especially with how the Truck Series is now. Either she's going to just miss the playoffs or she might squeak in. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, I think she'll definitely finish top 15 in points in the Truck Series. Hendrick Motorsports will win a total of 12 races in 2022. William Byron with 5, Kyle Larson with 4, Chase Elliott with 2, and Alex Bowman with 1. Now, last year I predicted that Hendrick Motorsports would dominate the Cup Series, and man, they dominated all right. And but this year I think that they're going to take a step back. I just think that there's going to be a lot more parity in the Cup Series this season. I don't think one team is going to dominate. But I do predict that William Byron will break out this season. That team showed me last year that they're setting up for something big. He kind of reminds me of Jimmy Johnson between the years of 2002 to 2005, where that team, they were showing flashes and then they eventually just started winning a lot in 2006. I'm not saying that William Byron is going to become the top dog at Hendrick, but he won't be too far away from it though. I still think Kyle Larson is going to be that guy. And speaking of Kyle Larson, I think he's going to regress to 4 wins this year. Still really good, and I think he's going to contend for a lot of wins, but I don't think he's going to get nowhere near the amount of wins that he did last year. I'm predicting a championship 4 appearance from him again, him and Byron. When it comes to Chase, like I said, I think he's going to go winless on the road courses, but I do think that he's going to get 2 wins. And then I think Bowman, he'll probably fix his consistency issues, but I just think that he's going to get 1 win this season. William Byron will win the regular season championship. Like I just said, I think William Byron is going to break out. I think he's going to do a lot of damage this year. I think he's going to be that guy that's going to be up there weekly. We've seen how consistent he was in 2021. I think they put that all together in 2022. Dodge will announce sometime in 2022 that they will be returning to NASCAR in 2024. There's been so many Dodge rumors within the past year and a half, more so in 2021, and it's been a fun story to follow. And I just think that they are going to finally come through with it in 2022 and announce that they will be returning in NASCAR in 2024. Definitely going to be a fun story to continue to follow because the rumors are so strong right now. Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace will get one win apiece, but one of them misses the playoffs. I definitely do see 23XI Racing being better this season. They brought in a lot of good people over the off season. They got Kurt Busch, that's the big obvious one. But I see one of them missing the playoffs. Now, a win automatically gets you into the playoffs, but one of these guys probably won't win until late in the season, or like I said before in my other prediction, there's going to be more than 16 drivers that win before the playoffs. Who knows? One of them may get knocked out of the playoffs because of being too low in points, and they might end up missing it. So I definitely do see both of them visiting victory lane, but like I said, one of them is going to miss the playoffs. All of our Motorsports drivers will make the Xfinity Series playoffs. Now, our Motorsports, they kind of remind me of Kaulig Racing from a couple of years ago. They're building something big, and the driver lineup that they got this season is a pretty good lineup. They got Brett Moffitt, who is insanely talented and showed last year that our Motorsports has potential. Jeff Burton, and they got Anthony Alfredo. And I think that they will shine on the super speedways the most. I think if they all work together and, just stay with each other, kind of like the Kaulig cars, they can end up probably getting a win this season. But I see them performing pretty good everywhere else. I think they will be a 10th to 15th place team and easily make the playoffs, all three of their cars. Bodine will get a top 10 in one of his starts. That's right, the Onions coming back this season for a part-time schedule. I think he's running 7 or 8 races this season. I see him running mid-pack for the most part, but I think he's going to sneak a top 10 in this season in one of his starts. I always like Bodine. This is kind of random, but I think he can get it done. He's driving for Stuart Friesen. That's not a bad team. They kind of building something over there ever since they switched to Toyota. I definitely think that Bodine, he's going to surprise people in at least one of his starts and get a top 10. And for my last prediction, we will see a lot of races this year where mid to back tier teams hit on the setup and contend for the win or a top 5. Like I said, I think this is going to be a season where we see a lot of parity. It's going to remind me of 2001 when it comes to just the amount of winners. This next gen car is so different. It's not a spec car, but it's closer to that. And I just think that that's going to even the playing field. I think the top teams are going to continue to be the top teams, but I think the gap is going to be closed for at least this year, because you just never know. Somebody or some teams may find something and just take off. But I think for this year, they're going to be close, and we're going to see teams just hit on the setup. You remember the days where a random mid to back tier team would just hit on the setup and just drive up to the front and just contend for the win? I think those days are going to return, and it's going to be cool to see. So I'm predicting that, and I think we're going to see it a lot. So those are my 2022 NASCAR predictions. Hopefully I don't look like a complete fool by the end of the season, because that's how I felt at the end of 2021, because I got so many predictions wrong. But hopefully I do better this year. And so yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. What are your 2022 predictions for NASCAR across the top 3 series? Let me know in the comments. I'll definitely be reading them. It's going to be a very interesting season for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll up out of here. That'll be it for me. Y'all have a good one. Peace.